I'm excited.
I can tell.
Well, I'm a New York Yankee fan, Trent. We're having a historic start to our baseball season.
Can we stop with the historic start and saying you're just having a historical season?
It's kind of still a start, though. You know, when there are still over around 100 games left, I don't know. It still feels like a start.
Well, there are less than 100 games left because we're recording this on Thursday. So I think the Rays just played their 63rd game right now or something. Yeah, hold on. Let me do the math real quick. It's they're 35 and 28, so that would make 63 games. So there are less than 162 games remaining. Obviously, there are less than 100 games remaining. As a matter of fact, there are 99 games left. And the Rays have been buried in the division by the New York Yankees because the Yankees are now 12 games up on the Tampa Bay Rays after they just finished off a sweep of us, the injured Tampa Bay Rays, the walking injuries that we're dealing with. It's just, I don't know how to deal with it, but it seems like somebody's getting hurt every day. And you, as a Yankee fan, have noticed this. You know, you're concerned that sometimes you're like, oh well, you know, this player hurts, this player is injured, and everything. And every team deals with injuries in sports, but it seems like the Rays are getting. Seems like the bug's biting extra hard this year.
Well, and that was the story for the Yankees the last couple of years. The Yankees just haven't been able to keep all their guys on the field for a while now. That was a big part of the story last year and the year before that. One of the things I will say about the Rays, they just don't look the same, and part of that's the injuries, but they're also, I think, third or second in all of baseball in allowing unearned runs. And
that is so true. They've allowed 43 unearned runs as of right now, as of this Thursday night.
And I mean, you watched one of the things about watching this 3-game sweep in the Bronx, the Rays were sloppy in this series, dropping pop flies. And the thing about the Yankees right now, they took advantage of every single Rays miscue in this series. And you know, the Rays have been the better team the last couple of years. And this year, they just don't look like the same team. The Rays the past couple of years are a team that made all the plays, and really you had to play good to beat them. And the Yankees really didn't play their best baseball in these 3 games. They made errors too, and they didn't hit as well as they've been hitting. The Rays pitched well, but they won these games because the Rays made key defensive errors in every game and dropping pop flies in foul territory and fair territory and just giving the Yankees extra outs, and that's not going to work out right now with a team that's 47 and 16. So that's one thing I notice here that I would say is 3-game series just don't look like the same team that they've been the past couple of years. So
yeah, really, and a lot of it is, you know, you to your point regarding the errors on what was it, Tuesday night, the game 1 of this series, Corey Kluber was on the mound, and boy, he was pitching lights out. I mean,
great,
you know,
yeah.
he was great, came back to the Bronx, pitched extremely well. He's healthy right now, knock on wood. For
that's
right now,
the thing about him, who knows how long that's going to last. Yeah,
I know, you just don't know. But there was a play, I think it was in the 4th inning or so. There was just an easy pop fly, and just I think it was either Kevin Kiermaier or somebody just dropped it out of nowhere. It was just flat out dropped. And then next thing you know, Randy Arozarena from the outfield airmails a throw when a Yankee hitter hit a single, which allowed them to score an insurance run to give them a 2-0 lead.
IKF, Isaiah Kiner-Falefa, you know, gets the base hit. Arozarena airmails the throw home. Which if he would have unloaded a good throw on that play, he might have got Stanton out, because obviously exactly. Stanton's not the fastest runner, and you might have nailed him there with a good throw, but instead he airmails it and then heads up base running from Gleyber Torres 2-0, and that would be all the runs the Yankees score in that game. They win the game 2-1, you know, and it was all a comedy of errors in that inning. And that's just that's not the way the Rays have played in recent years. They don't make mistakes like that, but they seem to be doing a lot of that this year, and they did a lot of that in the Bronx, and that's how you get swept right now up in New York. But
and the Yankees don't need any help winning games. They've been winning their game. They've been winning games of their own on their own pace and on their own with their own abilities. And the Rays just kind of, they gave away this series. And I think my friend Dave Wills of Rays Radio said it best. He said the Rays helped the Yankees beat the Rays, and essentially that's what it was. Look. Just a general outlook on the Rays. They're dealing with so many injuries, and I understand that, but it's next man up. The key storylines for me are the defense and the offense. When the Rays were down 2-0 the other night to the Yankees and their starter that they had on the mound, and the Rays had chances against that late Yankee bullpen. They had the bases loaded. 3 out of the last 4 innings of that game, or not the bases loaded. They had multiple runners on base. 3 out of the last 4 innings of that game. Did they score runs? No, they couldn't scratch across anything, and that was another shutout for the Yankees. And they had the same thing on Wednesday night, where the Yankees took a 4-1 lead. G-Man Choi came up, and that was a big pinch hit by him to cut the lead to 4-3, but they haven't been able to get over the hump offensively, and it seems like we're talking about that every year, but now we're talking about it more than ever. I mean, I think you and I could hit, Rich, in that Rays offense. I think you and I, if it came down to it, we could provide Tampa Bay.
Well, it's just looking at that game, that was a 1-0 game, right?
That was.
And what happens is Kevin Kiermaier, he gets injured. And then Brett Phillips comes in, and he fills in at center field. And nice, easy pop fly to center field. But him and Margot, they get a little confused who's going to catch it. He drops a fly ball, which should have been an out. But next thing you know, Kyle Higashioka hits a 3-run home run. It's 4-0. That's an example of you had an easy fly ball there. You drop it. And the Yankees, bottom of the order, Kyle Higashioka hits it out, 3 RBIs. You take a 4-0 lead. They're able to hold on 4-3 and win that game. But, the Rays just made plays like that over and over again, and the Yankees just kept taking advantage of it. Another thing that was wild, and I do want to talk about in that Yankee-Rays game, in that 4-3 win in the set, was just how the umpires didn't know the rules.
Exactly.
And you had a 16-minute delay, which was just ridiculous. How do you, if you're the umpire, if you're Phil Cuzzi, how do you not know the rules in that spot? It was so ridiculous.
Phil Cuzzi's been around for years.
He's been around forever, and Aaron Boone knows the rule. It took the guys in the Yankee broadcast, Michael Kay, about 5 minutes to get the rule book and see what the rules were, and the umpires were wrong. Aaron Boone knew what the rules were. The umpires had no idea what was going on. They're standing there at the middle of the diamond for 16 minutes, have to go to New York to find out what the rules are. Finally, they let Boone change the pitcher, and you just knew at that point, it was just so much of an odd situation. You knew the Rays were going to get a couple hits there and get back in it. And speaking of next man up, this game starts the 2-1 win, the walk-off home run from Anthony Rizzo to complete the sweep. Yankees were supposed to have Severino start this game, and
correct.
Severino, he had 10 strikeouts in his 2 previous starts, so he's been one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. And I bring it up because next man up. That's what the Yankees have so much good pitching right now. Severino's just striking everybody out lately, been one of the hottest pitchers in baseball. He's out because of COVID protocol in this game, and that's a game last year if you're the Yankees. First of all, Yankees swept nobody last year. They would never get a sweep. Second of all, you get your top pitcher missed it seems like everybody's their top pitcher these days, but Severino misses the game. You get a spot start from a reliever, Clark Schmidt, who was a first-round pick for the Yankees, but still hasn't been a starter, coming out of the bullpen, limited action. Goes out there and gives you 3 scoreless innings with 5 strikeouts. I mean, he stepped up. Yankees just picked this guy up, Ryan Weber. He comes in his first game as a Yankee, 3 2/3, 1 earned run, did a fantastic job, all the way to Michael King, the bullpen. You're talking about 9 innings worth of 8 2/3 worth of work, and holy cow, excuse me, six innings of work, and holy cow, they were amazing. They gave up 1 run, so that's what the Yankees have been about this year. They beat you 18-4. They'll beat you 2-0. They'll beat you 2-1. It seems like regardless of what kind of game it is, they find a way to come out on top, especially if it's at home. The Yankees in June, Trent, have not lost a game in the Bronx. That win against the Rays was their 13th straight home win in the Bronx. That's the best streak they've had since 1973 in the old stadium. That's a long time ago. Yankees have only won 46 of their first 62 games a couple of times. It happened in 39 and 53 and 1928. So what you're seeing right now is something incredibly special.
Yeah, it really is. And just as a fan of baseball in general, you have to appreciate what they're doing. And you look at coming up toward the end of the season, that Subway Series, the Yankees and the Mets. If the Mets keep playing the way they are in the National League, that Yankees and Mets series could be very, very interesting, and it could be, one of the most fun series of the season. Normally, it's just it's the Subway Series. The media gets a lot out of it. I don't know whether Yankee fans are really all that into it. The Yankees and the Mets and all that kind of stuff. It's been dominated by mostly by the Yankees. But you look at it now, the Mets are actually in contention and they're playing well, and so are the Yankees. And if the Yankees and the Mets continue to play well when they play each other, that's going to be a fun series to watch just from a general fan's perspective.
You bring up an interesting point, Trent, because the Mets did win today, which is good for them. That puts them back up 4.5 games over the Atlanta Braves, who haven't lost in 2 weeks. They've won 14 straight games. You want to, as good as the Yankees have been, I mean, Yankees best team in baseball, but the best team in baseball the last couple of weeks. You're talking about the defending champion Atlanta Braves, 14 straight wins. They've gotten back into that division race in the National League East. The Mets still have the best record in the National League, but looking over their shoulder a little bit here as the Braves, and there's something to be said for that. You won 14 straight games, and you're still 4.5 games back. But when you consider that you were just 10 games back a couple of weeks ago, you've made some moves. So you got to keep an eye on what the Braves are doing right now too.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the Braves are a fantastic team, and then you look at the other end of the spectrum. The Angels are fading, and they're fading fast. They plummeted. Last week we talked about it. Joe Madden, former Tampa Bay Ray manager, has been fired from the Los Angeles Angels. They had a double-digit losing streak. The Braves have had a double-digit winning streak. We've seen it all in Major League Baseball this year.
Oh yeah, it's been a great season. Obviously, if you're a Yankee fan, been a great season. Another thing to bring up, Judge has 25 home runs through the first 60 games. The only other 2 Yankees to ever do that, Babe Ruth and Mickey Mantle.
Oh yeah,
think about that.
Absolutely.
Just to show what kind of season Aaron Judge is having right now. I mean, the guy's unbelievable. You had McClanahan going in that second game of the series, and he's got the lowest ERA in all of the American League, and he's had a tremendous season. And Aaron Judge set the tone of that game by hitting a home run immediately off the Rays' best pitcher, and just you're feeling good about that game right away. So that's just a season that Aaron Judge has had so far. Really amazing.
Yeah, it really is, and hopefully he doesn't participate in the home run derby. I hope he does. Because
I don't think he will. I would be shocked. There's no way that's happening.
I know. It's wishful thinking as a Rays fan, but but no, seriously, as far as the Rays are concerned, laying all kidding aside, you look. The Rays are 12 games back right now of the division. I think they should just be focused on obviously getting guys back that they need to get back, and hopefully there are reinforcements on the way sooner rather than later. But you just kind of have to focus on getting into the playoffs if you're a Rays fan. I'm not saying the division is not totally out of the picture, but I don't see the Yankees blowing a double digit. If they have a double digit lead at the end of July, at the end of August, I truly believe that the way the Yankees have been playing, I don't see them blowing a double digit lead in the division, or I don't see that big of a collapse. So if you're a Tampa Bay Rays fan, the hopes of winning the division, I hate to say it, but are starting to become unrealistic.